Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out Friday. What do I call it? Real
Real
Talk
Talk
Friday
Friday.
edition. Super prepared with me as always, Kristen Evans. Thanks for
Hi.
joining me in the Nerdatorium again, kid. Uh,
How was your week?
week was great. Back
Yeah?
to productivity. Kids went back to school, out
Oh
of
my
the
god.
house. Uh, That
I those breaks are so ridiculous sometimes. What was it, like 20 days that they're home and it's just
I feel like it gets longer every year. And that Christmas song that's parents can't wait till break is over, or I forgot what the lyrics are. It's like Frank Sinatra. I don't remember the song.
yeah,
I
me
hate
either.
Christmas music altogether.
I mean, fair. Not
Uh,
I
but
don't not agree with you on that.
yeah, it gets truer every single year, I feel like you
Yeah.
just get busier as an adult, and you just want the school to take them and babysit for a few hours. Anyway, topic of the day has gotta be Honeygate, right? This is
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
fun.
Oh my god. And I know you and I have a little bit of a different stance on it. I have really liked working with the Honey team over the years in a very like limited capacity, one where they're actually helping drive additional sales. But I think that there's a lot of education that needs to be done on the topic in general because it's like attribution. It's making sure that you're crediting the right people for driving the right sales. It's optimization. It's also just like why is honey the only one getting any heat right now on this? I know partially why, and we talked about that, but that also, this isn't precedent setting that they're doing it. That's happened with other brands and other companies before. And it's just, I don't know. I think that a lot of people love to jump on something and be like, stay abroad. And it's okay, but is that the real conversation or is the conversation that like maybe you don't know how to optimize them very well, or you're not educating the right people, or you're not educated enough to be able to work with these partners and make the most of the relationship versus just set it and forget.
There's so many levels of this onion that you're touching on. First off, like the conversation we had earlier this week was about why is honey getting the brunt of this? And the biggest reason is they just paid all these influencers and then picked their pockets on the backside.
Yeah.
And none of them were wise enough to recognize what they were doing.
Do you remember when Bitly started using affiliate links and they would override like bloggers' affiliate links?
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's all been the same vein, when especially if you're paying for the premium Bitly membership and then they're gonna go in and override your stuff, like, that there's always been some sort of that kind of that's gross
Yeah.
way of doing things in the industry, and that's because that's shady practices. Like, of course, you shouldn't pay an influencer to do something and then, cannibalize their sales. But is that how Honey runs across all of everything, or is it just because it happened with those influencers that they paid and then reaped the benefits of the commission? I don't know. It's one of those topics where it's like it was some iteration of this comes around every few years with different partners, and it's just how we respond to it. I think that is really telling about people in the industry and or the conversations in the industry and where we actually need to go with it. But yeah, what's your take?
I think toolbars is a ick word to begin with. Like, people have scrutinized the way that they do business for a very long time to the point of they came up with the concept of Chrome extension. They want to be called a Chrome extension, not a toolbar, because it was had such a negative connotation to it. My experience started 15 years ago in my first job where I was taking the browser extensions and toolbars and testing them out at CJ and making sure that they were following the rules that were guidelines at that point to be on that network. But it's come a long way. Honey started that company doing the right thing of not stealing. If anybody else had a click involved, we're not going to take that click. And then at some point that fell off, and now they're paying for it for tricking people in the first place of that sense. But to your point, they aren't tricking people. They're just preying on the people that are uneducated in the sense. There's a lot of affiliate managers out there that really think that Honey's doing a great job driving traffic and they're helping them make look really good. And so they're gonna go with it. They're gonna keep on working with them in that sense. But they're aren't nearly as many people like you that are working with them that I know the capabilities and the guidelines that they have to set for each brand to be able to work with them properly.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that maybe isn't necessarily talked about enough is the fact that like up things like attribution rules, not just within your affiliate program, but also a little bit more globally within across your marketing channels and really understanding the traffic, how it converts. But then also a big piece of it is having a relationship with those affiliates. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with Honey for years, and I can tell you how many times I've emailed them and I've been like, "Hey, can you remove these codes? Those are actually like influencer codes or whatever." And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely." And that only works because I'm also optimizing to give them their own opportunities to convert at that level. So if I give them an exclusive code and in turn ask them to remove UGC, then it's a much more give and take type of relationship. And I've seen them drive actionable traffic and actionable conversions in that way. I've also used Honey as a shopper. I'm a millennial woman who makes the majority of the purchasing decisions in my house. So I'm absolutely the target audience, but I love earning some points. I love earning rewards points. So yes, I use things like Honey and Fetch when I'm shopping, just like people use Capital One shopping. And like all of those, they all play the same game. And it's up to us as affiliate managers to be able to discern like what's the best way to work with them that's not going to be overly disruptive to the total contribution to revenue or to our affiliates who are really driving that full funnel conversion or the really top of funnel introduction, discovery, education piece. And if you play your cards when you play your affiliates and have those relationships with them, then you can actually have those productive relationships with partners like Honey. But it all comes down to communication and optimization.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. Everybody has their own methodology on what affiliate marketing is and attribution, what it should be and what it can be. Incrementality, everybody's going to have a difference of opinion on what is actual sales that are making you just look good or they're best for the business overall. And I have a very strong conservative side of thinking on this point where nobody's going to convince me. No Brooke Shaw or
Yeah,
nobody at CJ. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise, especially not today. But I absolutely loved seeing this exploited into the world and it's opening eyes. And I think overall, it's a great opportunity for the affiliate industry as a whole to start working with more influencers that are opening their eyes to this concept. And now I think better than ever is that opportunity to work in the affiliate space with these influencers. So I see this as a great thing that happened. I am pretty surprised it took this long to open some eyes. I've been screaming this for years, but I don't have the voice like an influencer that has millions of followers like he does.
sure. You're getting there, bud. You're getting there. But yeah, again, just to come back to what we were originally saying, this is such a huge education piece. It really does come down to like how well do you know the different types of printers. And this is what happened in a comment section earlier this week where I feel like somebody was trying to call me out, but it ended up being like, we're saying the same damn thing. And ultimately that comes around to like, we should not just be like, educating other affiliate managers on what's going on with these relationships, but we should very much be educating our brands, because at the end of the day, whether you are an agency or a consultant or whatever, it is the brand's affiliate program and we owe it to ourselves and to our industry to give them the greatest insight into how these different partners operate in order for them to make the best decisions for themselves, which ultimately is a great decision for us as the partner that like helps grow them and educate them on these topics, which ultimately helps the entire industry. And becomes a win-win. But it all comes back to communication is kindness. And if you're very transparent with your partners about, or with your brands about why some of these foundational partners can be a risk that can also be helpful in your affiliate program, then ultimately you're going to give them the tools that they need to make the best decisions going forward, whether that's with you, without you, bringing something in house, or even just knowing the landscape better so that you can get more buy in on budget and other opportunities. I think that really the education piece, internal stakeholders as well as within the industry, is a huge component of this.
Hmm. Hmm. And I don't know if there's a more polarizing topic in our industry, in all reality, coupons versus content, like
I
value
would say
coupon
that
sites,
flat fee, like, media budgets, that's another one that's really
flat for
polarizing, you
you,
know?
okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be performance marketing, they need to
Sure.
get the sales, yeah, but yes, no, I agree with you, I think that this is definitely one of those, and we've heard it for years, we heard it with Ebates back in the day, we've always heard it with coupon partners, but this has certainly shed a whole new light on the situation, thanks to the influencers that have been involved.
Yeah. And love seeing this talked about so much in Martech Record Slack group,
Mhm.
which is always a lot of fun and always educational. Everybody's got a voice. Like there's a lot of people coming out of the woodwork that want to talk about it. And it's very interesting seeing the people that I share an opinion with that I didn't think I shared an opinion with, and vice versa. But it is talked about. I feel like there's probably like 50 comments in that thread alone, which might be the all time record there. But I love seeing it. I love it that it's being talked about. I really do hope that there is a panel at ASW that gets pulled in and created. It just needs to be talked about more and
Yeah.
discussed further.
And the PMA just released that white paper on attribution as well, which I think is a pretty essential part of that topic, the PMA.org to download. Um,
Okay. Was
uh,
that the fresh one that came out? Oh, with
mhm.
all the networks and, like, all the terms, right?
That so the glossary came out recently, but yeah, this one's like really about, yeah, it does include a glossary in terms with attribution. And
Okay.
I think that that's definitely such a huge piece of it when working with platforms that allow you to have different attribution levels based on content partner is monumental for success in affiliate programs so that you are able to diversify the basket between those foundational partners and those top of funnel partners, as well as mid funnel, while also making sure that you're optimizing every partner to their best extent.
Yeah.
That was a
Awesome.
lot.
I don't think so. I think you're on, like I will say this, if there is no multi-touch attribution in a model, I think there is no opportunity to work with honeys in the space.
Yeah,
If it
agreed.
is possible and you can give other channels and other partners attribution credit, then I think it's a an option. Uh,
Yeah.
that's my biggest leniency that I could possibly put in here.
Yes, personally, that's the only way I will work with them is if we have that opportunity. I'm not going to get them into a program where I don't have that opportunity to say, you know what, if this partner is driving the introduction, you are 100% standing down in every way, shape, or form. And that happens all the time. There's some partners that I might do split commission, but for Honey and for other partners like Honey, it's always they stand down if content is involved in the clickstream. But you have to have that ability to be able to look at the attribution, look at the conversion lines, and make sure that they're functioning in a way that's best for the brand and brand's goals.
Concur. You say it so eloquently. I love your stance on it. I love that we have something that we can argue about and in a functional manner. But me and Stephen Root actually did a full affiliate nerd out that's going to come out in a couple of weeks on this topic altogether. And I'm glad we could spark the interest of the affiliate world and get these conversations going. If you're there and you're watching this, drop some comments. I've got my join link here. Nobody joined us today, but I hope people jump in and hang out with us next Friday. We'll be here every Friday at 1 o'clock.
Pacific.
Just hanging out. Pacific. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
Thanks for the chat again today, bud.
you got it. Good to see you, and
Yep.
we'll see you out there
All right. Have a good weekend.
later.
Bye.